right, welcome back. Episode number 29 of the Bank On It podcast. Shout out to Eric Dickerson. We are, as always, presented by the Appalachian newspapers, and I'm joined by regional sports editor Randy White, Corey Vance behind the camera, and special guest this week from WYMT, Willie Hope. Welcome. Appreciate you coming on.
You know, getting a handshake from me, Willie.
No handshake from Randy. The disrespect is real, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we're happy to have you on and talk a little bit about sports in the Appalachia.
Yeah, Willie is, he covers a lot of sports and a lot of area. If you want to just kind of tell the people, all the area that WYMT covers. It's kind of crazy.
We cover, so of course we cover the 15th region, every single 15th region school from 57th district up to the 60th district, Pikeville, Phelps and all that. We cover the whole 14th region, all the way Estill County up towards Lexington, down to Leslie County and Letcher Central, all that. Then we cover the whole 13th region as well, so Corbin, your Clay County, all the way out to that North Laurel line, all the way down to Middlesboro, Bell County. And then we also cover a little bit of the 12th region as well.
Wow.
So we go Southwestern, Pulaski County, Somerset, Rockcastle County. So I think in total, it's like 50-ish something schools. We're talking about everything outside of football. So it's about 106 total, teams that cover for basketball and stuff like that.
Yeah, and some of the other things that you all do at YMT too, you cover a lot of UK stuff that you all don't talk about a whole lot. But last week we were talking about the NFL draft last week, Wes. Willie was there.
Yep,
wow.
I was down in Nashville in the middle. I mean, it was crazy to see the sheer amount of people, and we're back behind, next to the stage, back in the media room. But I went out there trying to get through the crowd. I mean, it took me 5 minutes to get from one side of Broadway Street to the other side of Broadway Street, just the sheer amount of people that were there. But yeah, we do, like you said, we cover a lot of UK stuff. We were there for Josh Allen, of course, being the top 10 pick. We were in Orlando this year for the Citrus Bowl. We were in, Nashville again for that SEC tournament. Jacksonville, Kansas City. Marcus Browning, who's our sports director, actually I'll give him a shout out for all the hard work he does. Yeah. But he was in Kansas City with Will Puckett, who's one of our anchors and does a lot of sports stuff with fans as well. So I mean, we cover UK. We come up here, cover UPike as well. Down in 13th region, we cover University of Cumberland's, Union College, Alice Lloyd College. Even we throw up some LMU stuff sometimes. Yeah. So we're pretty much everywhere. So I could be, here today in Lexington tomorrow, down in Middlesboro the next day.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand the love that you have to have for sports, even though you're not playing it. Is real. I mean, you really have to be somebody who this is your life in order to dedicate that much time, and just the coverage area alone is kind of mind-blowing for me to think about trying to keep up with all the players and all the teams and coaches and all of that stuff is just kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, and changing gears a little bit, just let people know how long you've been from YMT and some of your background, Willie, because, maybe not everybody knows your story.
That's true. I've been pretty much everywhere, but, still, with the coverage area being so big, there's still more people to meet. But I'm from Maryland, right outside of D.C., about 20 minutes outside of D.C. So I came down here. The first day was July 2nd, 2018, so I've been down here for 10 months now, which is hard to believe because it seems like it's flown by pretty fast. But I'm from right outside of Maryland, went to school at Messiah College in Pennsylvania, small Division III school. Played basketball there, played some college basketball there. And then after that, came down here and started working right away. So, been all over Eastern Kentucky. Love it, love the people. But yeah, that's, my background. Been around sports my whole life. Played basketball, football growing up, even a little baseball, soccer. I think that's I swam for when I was really young. So
how have you found in terms of the place that you come from in Maryland, how have you found is high school sports, I guess what I'm trying to ask is it similar here as it is somewhere else? Obviously, I know the culture may be a little bit different, but is, what you find with coaches and players and stuff like that pretty similar to across the board? Obviously, I know there's differences, but...
Yeah. With high school sports in Eastern Kentucky means so much more to the community. I think that's the biggest difference. But in terms of just sheer talent, basketball, and even you look at basketball, high school football, Maryland's really big for lacrosse. Right. There's a bunch of, I played in a conference. Well, I was in a conference that for lacrosse, they had like the top, like out of the top 25, there's like 3 or 4 schools from that conference alone. So the sheer amount of talent in that DC, Virginia, going up to Baltimore area is ridiculous. But in terms of how much people care and how much it impacts the community, you'd be hard pressed to find anywhere, I think. I don't want to say in the country because I haven't been everywhere, but I mean, just the way that Eastern Kentuckians care about their high school sports. You go out to high school football games and basketball games, especially in places, you go to Belfry, you go to Pikeville, you go to places like that, Corbin. There's a lot of love for high school sports, high school football, basketball in those places.
And speaking of high school sports and how Kentucky might be a little bit different, Sweet 16, I know you got to cover that this year.
Yes.
Just talk about how different the Sweet 16 is here in Kentucky, because everybody's crazy about the Sweet 16 in the state of Kentucky. It's a huge deal.
It is. It's a really big deal. I mean, it's a lot of fun. You see, talking to Brian Milam, who used to work at WYMT, he's now at WKYT in Lexington. He was saying you could just tell stories, based on just the people sitting in the crowd. You have, so many legends. We got to see a legend in Billy Hicks coach his final game, ever. If he stays retired, but got to see him coach his final game ever. Got to see Division I recruit, high Division I recruit, in David Johnson. But just more than that, to see how much it means to these communities that come out. I mean, being from the these teams being from the mountains, they come out and they bring half the city sometimes. See how Perry Central go up there and almost win a game. Even Knox Central, to see how much it means to these schools. I mean, Knox Central hadn't won a region championship since 1970. So, and then you have your Walton Veronas from up near Cincinnati, your Scott counties that are right down the road. So they're bringing bus loads of kids, and you got Covington Catholic, and then you go out to the western part of the state. You go to Louisville. You go to even farther west than that, just to see that no matter what these kids are coming out traveling out. I think you just see how much it means to them. On top of the fact that Kentucky is, I think, the only state that has one true champion for a lot of sports. Pretty much every other state has classes. Maryland has classes, and it's a whole lot of fun. But you don't have one state champion. I think that's what sets the Sweet 16 apart and makes it so unique.
Yeah, and just kind of talk about, right now we're in the middle of baseball and softball season. You get to see a lot of teams. I know Hazard last year went on that crazy run. I mean, just kind of talk to some of the teams that kind of stand out to you in your coverage area. I know there's a lot of good teams out there.
There are a lot of good teams. You mentioned Hazard. We were at the All-A, 14th Region All-A Classic was a couple weeks ago now. But watching Hazard, I mean, phenomenal team. They lost a couple seniors from last year's team too, and they're still right there as one of the favorites to win the 14th, along with Perry Central, who lost, of course, Braxton Cottongame, who's now at Kentucky, but Perry Central very good, and Powell County, who's out there, but they're still part of our coverage area, is a really good team too. They actually beat Perry Central 10-2 last week, so or I don't know if it'll be last week or
right.
But 14th region, those are probably your 3 front-running teams, along with you have your Knott Centrals and Breathitt counties. Softball-wise, heard a lot about Jackson City, about Wolfe County, those schools. The Knott Central, and they're pretty good. I've been in the 15th a little bit too, and I've heard a lot about Johnson Central. I've heard Johnson Central on both sides, really, baseball and softball, really good teams, and I actually haven't been able to see either one of them yet. So it'll be interesting to see, and then go down to the 13th, Clay County softball. It's like top 20 in the state right now, really good. But then you get to see guys like Chase Eastep at Corbin. Got to watch him play. You can see why he's a Kentucky, baseball commit. So you get to see a lot of really good teams, traveling all over. I mean, North Laurel, goodness gracious, Knox Central, I think is only like 2 games all year for baseball. So it is a lot of fun to get out and see all these athletes.
All right, so, Jackson Hensley's making a lot of waves right now. He goes down to Charlotte last week in the Nike Open region. He comes out number 3 overall, finishes as the top wide receiver. Over this past weekend, he gets a 3-star rating. He goes from 0 stars to 3 stars just like that. Is in the top 10 in the state in rankings in football coming in for next year. I mean, you've got to see Jackson Hensley play a little bit. I mean, just kind of talk about what kind of athlete this kid is.
The first thing that stands out, he's fast. He's fast. I've seen him play. I mean, Pikeville making that run to the state championship. I've seen Pikeville play in person probably 6 or 7 times this year. So and I was at that state championship game where he actually got hurt, but he scored their first touchdown in the game, I believe.
First two, I believe.
First two. It was the first two touchdowns, and kid can move. Kid can get up and down the sideline. Actually, I'm one maybe see him run track or something like that as well.
Yeah.
But he is definitely talented. One of those very good wide receivers on that Pikeville team. I think that a lot of times when athletes come from the mountains, they're kind of hidden, and then once they get out there and you see, okay, this kid is, he got like a 120 plus rating or something like that, which I don't know how they grade it, but I'm assuming that 120 is really good.
Yeah.
Well, it takes going to something regional like that to kind of get the maybe the notoriety and the recognition, other than just relying on gameplay alone, right?
Yeah, that's where you make your name in the recruiting, is when you get out to these camps like Nike and these places like that. And, you have to go to Charlotte sometimes before you get to the big ones. I mean, there's smaller ones, but, there's not as much coverage and there's not as much excitement, You got to go travel to these bigger tournaments and camps to get noticed, so.
Well, we're definitely going to be looking forward to watching Jackson Hensley play again next year in football, and obviously we know he's tearing it up in baseball this year too. Big, more than two-sport guy.
He does track and field as well.
This kid's just all over the place, so these guys are going to look forward to covering him. And once again, we want to say thank you to Willie Hope from WYMT for joining us. Appreciate having you on, and check out some highlights from around the region.
Yeah, I was excited to just get out and compete after a long winter and really just like working hard with my friends in the off season. And I was just glad to get out and finally show what we can do here in East Ridge. Well, it does a lot for my confidence and it really boosts it. And the biggest thing for me was just going in and trying my best not to be intimidated by other people, because I know what I can do and everybody knows what I can do. And it's just I got to show and prove what I can do. I had some confidence going in, but then we walked through the gates, me and my dad did, and some of the kids there were absolutely huge. I mean, they made me look small. They're bigger than me, taller than me, look faster than me. But I went out, and I think with football, no matter what, how big you are, how strong you are, it comes down to like your heart and your want and your desire. And I think that's where I pull ahead of other people. Well, I've actually always been big into baseball and baseball recruiting, and so me and my family, we're just starting this football process. So that's new to me, and we're going to camps here and there, and we're talking to everybody and talking to people that have graduated, that have been through it, and we're trying to find the best path. And this summer, I've got a busy summer. Well, first we ran our 4-meet, and I ran a 4.48, and then the next thing we did a pro agility like shuttle thing, and I ran a 4.3 in that, which was pretty solid. And then we did this thing called the power ball throw, where you get down on your knees and you push a 6-pound medicine ball and I threw a 41 feet, and I ended up being like the 99th percentile. And then we went to vertical, where I jumped a 37.3. So that was cool. I mean, there's things in sports that go hand in hand. Like, my dad's preached to me since I've been little. Speed kills. It does. I mean, if you can be fast, you can be good at anything. I mean, because in baseball, you got to run bases. You got to go get balls in the outfield. Football, you got to be fast. You got to get by people. You got to score. Track, obviously, you got to be fast because that's just running.
Yeah.
And so I think you got to be strong and fast. And there's no excuse to not be as fast as you can, and there's no excuse not to be strong, because there's always you can always do something to get better. Well, at first we started out rough. We had a new coach and a new system, and it was tough getting in, and we're playing a lot tougher schedule than we ever have before. And so it started off like rocky, and that was tough in the beginning. But now I think that other people are really starting to see like what our team can do, and what our coaches know what we can do. And so when we all put it together, and we hit the ball, we pitch, we don't make errors, we don't walk people, I think that we can beat anybody in the league. Playing in the state championship game is something that I will never forget for the rest of my life. And hopefully I get to do again this year. I mean, being on that field and walking out in that tunnel and watching it open up is something that I will never forget until the day I die. And playing on that, I mean, you get out there and it's so big at first. And then you start playing, it's just another football game. Well, being a leader in football is different than being a leader in baseball, I think, because there's different things. There's different things that go into it. And one of the biggest reasons I'm excited for this football season is because my brother's going to be a freshman. And I'm super excited to finally get to take the field with him in something. Because, like, me and my brother used to fight like dogs. And just here recently, the past year or two, me and him have gotten really close. And I think running out with him those Friday nights will be something that I want to forget.
Really special because for my team, it's one of the last few days that we're going to be able to get together again. And that's really awesome because I really love them and I'm really going to miss them. And then my whole family being here is good because it lets me show them my siblings that we can do it and that you can do it even though it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
It's just really special. So it was awesome college for me because obviously they're really good academic-wise, but then when I went to the basketball overnight visit, it just really felt like home to me, and that's really was kind of what I was looking for, and it really just sealed it for me. It is really cool. I'm getting to play with people that I've played with before, and it's already kind of like setting in that I get to play 4 more years because I've been really emotional about not playing. So it's really good that I get to continue my favorite pastime. It was really good to end it here, and I wouldn't have wanted to go any other school because this has been really good for me to like grow and be able to lead and get me to really go to my next step in life.
For me, I'm always talking about that. I want to get them ready for college and get them ready for life and then whatever their careers are going to be after that. And Leslie has we have a really great bond and their relationship. Just that I've always had that connection with her. And from day one, she's been that kid that's always been coming in and talking to me and having conversations about her future and about what she wants to do. And I think the biggest thing, and I think I heard her say it, is for her little brother and sister to see that she can do it and she can graduate from college and for them to hopefully follow right after her. And from the get-go, I kept telling her, hey, we want to look at the Centers, Georgetowns, Transies of the world. I mean, I just knew that was just be the natural place for her. And when we talked about it, we said, I want you to go stay at these places and stay all night with these people because it's not just about the academic part, but the people that are on this team, you got to make sure you like. And she came back from there, she was like, I like these places, this is where I want to be. So I said, that's good, that's what we're going to do. So it was really easy. Well, I think that it's just that they want to continue their career. A lot of girls, by the time they get to this point, are kind of tired, kind of burnt out, as you would say. And just really proud of the fact that she wants to continue.
All right, thank you to our sponsors, Presbyterian Homes of Cedar Creek and Good Shepherd at Phelps. If you're looking for quality care for your loved ones, look no further than Presbyterian Homes of Cedar Creek and Good Shepherd at Phelps. Both facilities treat your loved ones with care and respect. They offer therapy, daily activities, exquisite cuisine, and in a home-like setting to make your family members feel at home. Call to schedule an appointment today at Cedar Creek. Call Jessica Thacker at 432-8243. And at Good Shepherd, call 456-8725. Caring for your loved ones is what they do best. And thank you to the City of Pikeville check out their website at www.visitpikeville.com, and we're right in the middle of downtown Pikeville right now. A lot of cool things coming up for the summer, lots of stuff to get out and do. All right, thank you again for joining us for another episode of the Bank On It Podcast. I want to thank again Willie Hope from WYMT, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks.